Alright, I got some pretty massive damage to the flywheel side of this crank here. The keyway is pretty well buggered up. The flywheel itself has a little bit of damage inside of it. So, you know, obviously the right move would be to tear the whole engine down, pull the crank out, put a new crank in, get a new flywheel. But, you know, I can't really screw it up anymore. So before I do that, I already did one round of a little lapping compound here, valve grinding compound, to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Basically, you put the lapping compound on there, put the flywheel over it, and rotate it back and forth to start grinding down all the high spots. So what I'm going to do after I'm satisfied with how that comes out, I have a whole bunch of extra woodruff keys here. So, you know, the smallest one here is the one that it comes with. I might try to size up a little bit. We'll see how those fit. But basically, I bought this Loctite 660, which is, you know, meant to really stick things together. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so lapping compound goes on, a couple decent globs on there, and then I'm just gonna start to spread it around with my finger, even it out a little bit, put some on the inside of the flywheel for fun, and then just take your flywheel, slide it on, and rotate it back and forth a bunch of times. Alright, been at it for a little bit. Feels fairly smooth. So pull it back off. You can see the lapping compound starts to coat, and you know, it's got a little fine granule in it to, you know, start to sand it down basically. So we're gonna clean it off. That's, you know, the second round I've done, so I'm fairly satisfied with how it's coming out. I am gonna have to clean it with some brake cleaner before I put any of the Loctite on there for sure. Alright, it's been brake cleaned. So now what I'm going to do is figure out what size keyway or woodruff key I'm going to use, and then I think the first step I'm going to do is take some of this Loctite 660, dab it inside of here, and just press the woodruff key in first and let that seal for 24 hours. Now, unfortunately, I'm definitely not going to be able to size up the woodruff key. This is the, you know, smallest one, the one that comes with it. So you can see that there's some pretty massive gapping on both sides of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the woodruff key back out, put some of the Loctite in the bottom of this keyway, stick it in there, and, you know, make sure it's in its, you know, position here, and, you know, hope it seals up good. And then tomorrow, after it, you know, cures for 24 hours, I'll put a bunch of Loctite all over the nose here, press the flywheel on, torque it to 1,000,000,000, and hope for the best. Alright, I got the Loctite in there. It is anaerobic, so it's only going to solidify basically where the woodruff key meets the crank. So I made sure to set it in there best I could. So we'll see how it looks tomorrow. Alright, we're out here the next day. The woodruff key in there, real solid, not going to pop out of there. So game plan is 660 all the way around the nose, pop the flywheel on, and then 518 for the nut, and air hammer the crap out of it and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Flywheel is back on, nut torqued down hard. Gonna give it 24 hours and gonna test it tomorrow before I put it back into the jet ski. Gonna hook up a battery straight to the starter, get it to spin over a few times, make sure the flywheel is not going anywhere. All right, set up to do a quick test. It is over 24 hours since I set this up. Flywheel on there nice and solid. I have the spark plugs back in, have it set up to connect directly to the battery so we can spin it over a few times. I did mark it. Okay, so we can see if the flywheel gets spun. So let's hit the starter and see if it's solid enough to put back together and put back in the ski. Okay, take two with the wire better secured. Alright, she spun. And we're still lined up. So, time to put her back together and put her in the jet ski. Okay, engine is finally all hooked up. Still need to button some stuff up, but I wanted to test fire it. So let's see how it goes. Put that on. Try again. Well, after a couple tries, it does fire. But you really have to give it throttle. And it's not idling well, so I'll have to play around with some other stuff, but it does run. Okay, after a little throttle body adjusting, she fires up, she idles. Might need a little more adjusting once I get it into the water, but I think the fix is good. We'll see how long it lasts, but okay, another 24 hours to let the Loctite 518 set up on the exhaust and some of the other stuff before I get it wet. So, time to take it out on the water and see how she runs. Alright, here she is idling at 1480. Looking good. Got the pisser going. Running pretty good. Okay, there you have it. Running beautifully, actually better than it was before. It's actually hitting 6,800 RPMs. Before I was capped at 6,300. So, you know, we'll see how long it lasts. Thanks for watching.